So the first thing that you'll notice is that Leon is a lot more mobile. He even has the ability to crouch. The crouch will be used to get under obstacles and of course to take advantage of the new sneak mechanic. I believe you can even use it to dodge incoming grabs from some of the zombies. And yes, Leon still has his quick turn 180 ability, but it seems less useful now that you can just run backwards without even looking. Gone are the days of Leon being an absolute tank to control. And speaking of tanks, Leon can also aim and shoot while moving now. He no longer has to stay completely still to fire off a shot. Although I will say that the zombies do feel quite a bit faster in this game than the original to make up for his new mobility. Now, as I said earlier, Leon does have the ability to crouch under obstacles, and he can also use it to sneak around to avoid fights completely. But if you're not one for avoiding fights, you can also use this mechanic to sneak up on an enemy and go for a stealth kill with the knife. And yes, you can still kill birds for loot. You'll also notice that there is an action to destroy boxes and barrels. You no longer need to use your knife. And when you reload in the bottom right, you'll notice that there is a +1 to indicate that you have a bullet in the chamber, so that's a nice touch of realism there. Now on to the saddest difference that I've seen so far. It would appear that the dog is dead, although this one looks a lot more fierce, so maybe it's not the dog that we've come to love in the first game. Maybe this is just another random wolf. Hopefully the dog is still alive, and hopefully he will help us later on if we do free him from the bear trap. And speaking of bear traps, if you thought they were bad in the first game, they're even worse in this game, because some of the zombies actually carry bear traps around with them and can lay them down in random spots. So you can't just memorize all the locations of the bear traps because they're always moving and will always be in different places. Now onto the knife. The knife has received a huge amount of upgrades in this game. As you can see, you can parry with the knife, and you can also finish off enemies that are on the ground with the knife. Now the only problem with this is that the knife is now limited. Whenever you use it to parry or slash your enemies, the durability will go down, so you will have to find more knives throughout the game. So while the knife isn't infinite anymore, it makes up for it by being a very useful tool now. You can also take a look at the stats of your guns as well as your knives from the inventory, which is a nice little feature. And you can even craft ammo straight from your inventory if you have the required materials. Here's a look at a co-op section of the game, which I'm assuming we'll need Ashley for. And like I said earlier, here's also a look at the sneak mechanic being used to go in for the stealth kill. Now something very minor that doesn't really affect gameplay too much, but it's just nice to see, is that proximity to an enemy will change the way you hold your gun. As you can see there, whenever the zombie was really close to Leon, Leon kind of pushed the gun back into himself and tilted it sideways, so nice little touch. I will say though that the enemies in this game seem to be a lot smarter. Many times throughout this section of the game, you'll see them try to cut you off, so that's a nice touch. Definitely adds to the intensity of the situation. And you can even shoot this lamp right here to burn some of the zombies that are nearby, but you'll also burn the cow, so I didn't do that because I'm not a monster. Now something else that adds to the difficulty of this game is that you don't seem to be invincible anymore whenever you're performing certain actions. I feel like in the original you could jump out windows, and even if there were zombies nearby you would have iframes and they wouldn't be able to touch you and you could run away. Here, if you jump out of a window into 5 or 10 zombies, they will swarm you and do a good bit of damage. So you definitely have to play this game a little more strategically. Also, something cool that I noticed on my first playthrough is that the Chainsaw Man will actually destroy parts of the map, and that will cause you to have to look for other ways to move around. He'll completely block off sections, and you'll have to find another way around. Also, you can still climb up the clock tower, but just keep in mind that when you do that, you will fall through the floor. And yeah, if there's a bunch of zombies chasing you, you're not going to have a good time. And as you saw there, there is still the option to switch your weapons straight from the inventory. So if you feel like pausing the game to swap weapons to catch your breath a little bit, you can do that. Or if you want to just not disrupt the flow of combat and switch weapons without having to pause, you can do that with the available shortcuts. In my eyes, that's the best way to do it. Add new features for people who want to try them out, and leave the old familiar ones for people who have gotten accustomed to those. And that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any other differences that you've noticed from this game and the original, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching.